if Casey does what he says he's going to do and he abandons the long-term plan, he's shaking his head a little bit. But we're going to take that reservation.
I don't.
We're going to take that reservation and we're going to get us a Roamer Terra. We're going to have a channel truck.
Yeah,
I'll put down another
that.
reservation right now so you can get in line for your 3-row SUV in 6 years from now. But we need a channel truck. We got plans. Welcome to the Roamer podcast, like the first one with the three amigos together. Tonight, guys, we are talking all about Scout reservations because all three of us have them and we all have different plans for it. Let's go around, meet the crew. Blandy, introduce yourself.
I'm Blandy. I'm either late or a no-show, but tonight I'm here and on time.
We really appreciate that, man. Way to set the alarm. I'm proud.
Well, you know what? I'm actually proud. I didn't even have to. I just snoozed it because I was ready. Surprisingly, got all three kids down by myself tonight. That's a huge feat. They're all fed, clothed proper. I mean, it was a good night. So this is a good sign to come.
Single dad life tonight. Your lady is out having a great time without you.
Out playing mahjong. Has that hit y'all's households yet?
Casey, can you
like
spell
literally
mahjong?
just in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, what are you up to tonight?
No, I too just got the kids to bed. I had a little soccer practice, a little rush dinner.
What's a rush dinner on practice night?
A little taco bueno.
Perfect.
A little Caesars in the rotation.
Yeah.
A little hot and ready.
Well, I love hearing about all the family life. It's empty nest over here at my household. Okay. But wives, family, getting everything around.
Show.
But look, I think this is going to be very relevant to the topic at hand because all three of us have Scout reservations. Okay. But only maybe one of us actually gets to choose what this vehicle is actually going to be. The decision makers are elsewhere. But I think we'll at least talk through all the different options and what this vehicle is. And it's probably worth resetting, Casey. I'm going to toss it back to you to tell the audience who's new to Scout really what this vehicle is all about and why we're so excited.
Well, if you've been following the channel, you know that we're kind of big in the adventure space, the camping, the off-roading. And so, but also EVs. And so Scout, more so than even Rivian, I think, is really leaning into that adventure EV, right? So they're relaunching the brand in partnership with Volkswagen as an all-electric vehicle, right? Or at least there's not going to be any engine in the traditional sense, right? So that was the big surprise when they revealed it. They've got 2 EVs, the Terra, the pickup truck, and then they've got the SUV, which is a 4-door SUV called the Harvester or the Traveler. There you go. And these are full EVs, but they are body-on-frame vehicles with a solid rear axle and independent front suspension, like a Bronco or a Toyota 4Runner, that brand of off-roader, right? So right now, or initially what they've said is 350 miles of range. That's kind of their target. That's TBD, as technology might improve between now and launch. Oh yeah, you can see the E-beam rear axle back there. Nice, fully articulating, solid rear axle, but with an electric power unit attached to it. And then the curveball they threw was not only are they going to sell a 350-mile full BEV vehicle, they're also going to give you the option of an extended range EV via some gasoline engine also in there. Yeah, so this is the roller skate with that orange thing in the back is not a fuel tank. It is, speculative mock-up of where the engine's going to go and what it might look like, right? And so that vehicle
And we do know some things
go ahead,
about.
Brian.
Well, we know a couple of things about that engine, but maybe we'll get to that a little later. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, and then, the trick with that is we're going to have a smaller battery in order to make room for a fuel tank. All right. And so we're going to have full EV range of 150 miles. And then that engine is going to come on just to charge the battery. Okay. There's no transmission, there's no drive shaft, nothing. Physically connecting that engine to the wheels. And that combined with the 150 miles of pure EV range, they're saying that should get you to about 500 miles of range. And, hopefully with the ability to just gas up and go, when you're off grid and you don't want to deal with charging, because there's no charging network at the top of Yankee Boy Basin. And so you need some gasoline. Some people have criticized that as kind of trying to, be everything to everyone. Personally, that's the option we're the most excited about. I know, Brian, you reserved the Harvester, as they call it, with the E-Rev. Cody, I'm assuming you went full BEV.
Did.
As a Cybertruck guy, the resident Cybertruck guy.
Yeah, but probably will have, days are numbered. Days are numbered.
Yeah,
that's right.
I do have the Traveler reserved. I did clarify that. Went and double checked.
Yeah, so we've all gone Traveler SUV. But I think that's I think we all kind of secretly want the truck, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I think the three.
I just don't know.
Well, the truck provides so much utility, and we can get into this more later. It really fits a couple of the way I want to use the vehicle, but we're going to have to be a little careful about how we use these allocations up. But we do know on the reservation front, over 130,000 reservations that Scout has collected thus far, 80% of which have been for the Harvester range extender version of this vehicle, which that tells you everything you need to know about the adventure space market and how they feel about pure electric. People do not want to deal with limitations when going on road trips across country, getting off the highway system, getting into the backcountry, camping, rock climbing, doing all the things that they want to do. And, the market's responding and saying, we got to have something better and something that, I don't have to think about it. Right. I'm going to pull into some small town up and over a mountain pass. There's one gas station that, gets its supply once a week, and I'm going to be able to pull in there, fill up a little bit, and get over the next mountain pass. So yeah, and just not too surprising. Cody, I want to jump in with you because, you've been along on this story with us for a little bit, and you just got to see the Scout vehicles in person. They came through Fort Worth a couple weeks ago. And just what did you think when you finally got to lay eyes on that product?
I mean, I already had reserved it almost a year to the day this week. We looked it up. So I did it without seeing it in person till I guess last month. It exceeded expectations, both of them, the Terra and the Traveler. The size of the Terra, you think Rivian when you first see it, like in photos. It's not a Rivian. It's full-size truck. And that's one of the most attractive things I've ever seen. The Terra, I mean, as an SUV, it's hard being a truck guy to think of like committing to an SUV, but it's not going to disappoint. And I actually get into it later. I'm leaning Traveler right now, like keeping it as is, just functionally with the family. I think it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, they're just, the form factors are gorgeous in person. The materials they're looking at, I hope they stick to them pretty closely, because it just feels like a warmth that I haven't seen in the modern, especially EV space, where they're like, it can be both. It can be cozy and it can be functional and rugged. So 10 out of 10. I mean, genuinely 10 out of 10 when I saw them.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting that what you said there at the end, that the the vehicle kind of has, it just screams this throwback American luxury feel. Like they really nailed it. Like people can be really proud of having it, but not afraid of getting it dirty and being comfortable in it. But yeah, being able to put the dogs in it. Kids jumping up into the bench seat. They're going to offer a bench seat option. Like it just kind of has this nostalgic but modern uh, take on what it means to be American luxury and adventure all in one. It's what Jeep should be. I've said
Yeah.
that on a few podcasts before. And
Yeah.
man, they just kind of keep missing the mark on that. And they've left the door open for somebody like Scout to come in and eat their lunch in this space. So I'm pretty excited about it for sure. Casey, let's talk about your reservation because you have potentially altered your plans as far as your next vehicle in this space, in the extended range hybrid space, right? Because there was some news that came out a couple of weeks ago that really got your attention.
Yeah, because look, I mean, I've talked about it before. The Scout we've reserved, that's 100% was going to be my wife's car, which is, part of the reason just can't get away from the SUV. She loves the form factor of the SUV. It's a gorgeous vehicle. Um, and so, but, you know, we're 2 years away, probably at least from right now, of actually getting a vehicle, right? And so, in case anyone doesn't know, 2027, late 2027, that's when, best case scenario, they think the factory is going to crank up and start actually putting out vehicles. And so, towards the end of 2027 is when consumers are actually going to get them in their hands. You know, every weekend that goes by, and we've got 3 soccer games and 2 softball games and all this stuff going on with 2 little kids. We're just starting to see our future unfold in front of us, and a 2-row SUV, even though it may fit 6 with a bench seat in the front, um, just isn't looking like it's going to fit our needs. But my wife's in an EV right now, and we're in a new Chevy Blazer EV, and we flipping love that car. All right. Even on the weekends when that rear hatch, because that's just a little like compact crossover, right? When that hatch is full of gear bags and seats and coolers and whatever else we need, and it would be so much easier to take my LX. That's the car we take because we like driving around so much. My wife loves that she hasn't been to a gas station in 11 months now. And it's a great car. We really love having an EV. And so now our options are very limited if you want to go bigger than what Scout is offering, right? Things like, the Escalade IQ, extremely expensive, not really any bigger. Things like the Optic aren't any bigger than what we have now. And so we're just looking out in the space and going, what in like a full size, big honkin' Tahoe style 3-row SUV is available that's electric, and there's just nothing. And when you think about putting all the expense into a vehicle like that, it's a large vehicle, it's a huge investment. You don't want to be limited. You don't want that thing sitting at home and you having to take my, 12-year-old LX on a 16-hour road trip when you just spent all that on this EV that you really love, right? And so extended range is incredibly important. And right now, on the horizon, there's only one vehicle that fits that bill, and that's the new Jeep Grand Wagoneer with the EREV platform, formerly, or that was originally introduced as a Ram Charger pickup truck, right? So I really feel like we are on a collision course with one of those.
Well, that's very exciting because, like you said, we're several years still waiting on the Scouts to hit the market. I would love to see this collision with the Jeep Grand Wagoneer EREV happen sooner rather than later, selfishly. So I hope that happens for you guys. It really, we speculated for a while that this was going to happen, and really happy to see that announcement from Jeep. We do think, and Scout has hinted that the next logical step for them is to take the Traveler and make it make a 3-row version of that platform. It's going to be a while. It just will,
Yeah.
right? They've got their hands full. They've got to build 130,000 cars and counting under the
Yeah.
current 2 configurations, and that's going to take a couple of years. So they're not going to be in any hurry to add a 3-row because they don't have to be. So you could have this thing for
Well,
4 or
with that
5
extra seat.
years. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go. So Cody, you touched on sticking with the Traveler, the SUV platform, and I think you said you were going to stick with the battery electric, correct?
The function of the harvester adding, I don't know how, like I think you got to add it.
Yeah. Okay.
I
So
do. Like, as much as I do love the full,
Yeah.
I think you got to add it. I like, if the function's there, I want to try it.
Well, and I
It's
think
kind of
too, when I
actually-
think about your lifestyle, you live a little further outside of town. That's your long-term plan.
Yeah.
And there's not a great amount of charging infrastructure up there. And, I can imagine you heading north, right? Out towards Amarillo and the panhandle of Texas. And it's still a little sparse.
That's
So we
right.
know that's going to change, but you just won't even have to think about it.
I think that matters. I think that matters a lot. And I think, I lean the Traveler. I do. I think just seeing how we pack up luggage for trips, and I mean, obviously you could do a cover on the truck, but it never seems to be quite as convenient as having an SUV that is protected and accessible. Because with young kids, 3 under 6, you're grabbing diapers and snacks and things from the back. Like, it's nice to be able to reach back and get that from this, in being in the cab still, per se.
Yeah,
So
there's virtually no truck toppers back there that really solve the dust problem, right? Like, you don't want you don't want your gummy snacks covered in dust.
No.
Yeah.
No. And again,
Cody.
it's one more add-on that you got to think about. Like, out the gate, the Traveler's ready.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Traveler
Yeah.
SUV with the Harvester option. But tell me about the color, man. What are you actually going to go with the color? You've seen a couple of really cool options.
Historically, I've always had black or white vehicles. But I think that, like, especially hearing from the design team themselves in Cowtown a month ago and how they think through the color schemes, like, it makes you want to be fun. It makes you want to branch out. And that Pacific Mist that the Traveler was in, it's hard to ignore, especially with the leather color they picked for it. Like, I'd be open to that. I'd be open to a different blue, or even, honestly, that, I can't remember the metallic green that they did on the Terra. Like, even that in the SUV, I would go like an off green or an off blue, I think, is the route I'd go. What about you guys?
Yeah, and you got the silo green in the background on the pickup truck that we saw in Fort Worth. But then you've got this, which you just mentioned, which was the Pacific Mist, and I'll pull that up here over my shoulder so you guys can see that. Might take it a second just to switch out. And this doesn't do it justice. I'll try to put the real photo up onto the video and post edit. That, I think, that caught all of us off guard. That is a spectacular color.
Because like a light blue can, like, I call it the Buick effect. It just looks like a grandfather car the minute you go light blue, but not this blue.
No.
Not this blue.
No, it popped. It's got a real strong metallic, like a smooth metallic though, kind of that satin finish to it, but it still pops. It was really impressive. They're going to sell a lot of those. So
Big time.
let me jump in here a little bit with what we're planning to do with our reservation. So my wife is absolutely head over heels in love with this car, the SUV, the Traveler, and I've threatened to switch our reservation to the truck, and she has threatened divorce in response. So, the reality is we're definitely going to use that reservation for something like this. probably in that silo green color. That's a throwback color, and we've had that in our friend group growing up, and it's just something that from a nostalgia standpoint, it's just a killer look. The more throwback, the better for her. Uh, Definitely Harvester. Not going to go pure BEV, even with that vehicle being a daily driver around here in the city. I just can't turn down that kind of capability and no limits. It just makes too much sense, right? So, sticking with that for our personal vehicle, but if Casey does what he says he's going to do and he abandons the long-term plan for a short-term win with the Grand Wagoneer, he's shaking his head a little bit. But we're going to take that reservation.
I don't.
We're going to take that reservation and we're going to get us a Roamer Terra. We're going to have a channel truck. Okay.
Here.
Look at him. Look at it.
Yeah,
I'll
keep
put down
saying
another
that.
reservation right now so you can get in line for your 3-row SUV in 6 years from now. Okay. We can do that. But we need a channel truck. We got plans. Okay. Overlanding
True.
adventure plan.
I took the sacrifice for the Cybertruck, so it's your turn.
Boy.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll say a couple things. Number one, I'm not talking about a timeline change at all. I don't really see us getting a Wagoneer before a Scout becomes available. I think the idea that our reservation gets used on a truck that's pretty pie in the sky. You're gonna owe her some consideration for sure if you think that's gonna happen. I think she'd make me just buy both of them before she let that happen. So, we'll see.
I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. And
To
hey,
see some
I
public
don't
school in
wanna.
y'all's future.
It's a cheap shot.
It is.
Um,
But hey, I do want to ask the
Oh my
audience
God.
this, guys. Please subscribe to this channel. Help make that truck a dream come true for this channel. And we'll bring you all the
Yeah, for
content your
us.
little heart desires in the future. If you can help make that happen. So much
And if
appreciated.
Casey can't figure it out, I really don't feel like you can go wrong. I don't think you have to twist my arm too much to switch to the trucks. 2027 is still a couple of years away. We got time.
The truck looks so good. It
It
looks so
does.
good. The problem with the truck is that it's always sitting next to the Traveler. And
I literally stared at a photo with them sitting side by side. That's a perfect way of saying it. Is like you want the truck, but then you see it next to the Traveler.
no,
It's
and
hard.
we've said this a million times, and people think I'm exaggerating. Like once you see them in person, the Traveler really is just one of the most beautiful SUVs you've ever seen. The proportions on it are just perfect. So
Everything
it's
you want.
really hard to turn down. Oh, look at that interior.
Yeah, and
That's
I
not
thought
even a
maybe
good
we
view
just
of it.
it's not. I've got a ton of views here, but I thought I'd switch gears a little bit because if I didn't already know this, I know it now. Bland and I just switched up trucks for a week, and we're going to do a whole episode on this. I took the Cybertruck, and he took the Silverado. And the software-defined vehicle is a big deal, a huge deal. And it's why I think that even though we're not going to see the Scout until, let's say, the beginning of 2028 on the road, I think they don't have much to worry about from the competition. Rivian has taken a more premium kind of, it's got a lot of off-road capability, but it's really it's going to spend most of its life on the pavement, and the people buying it are going to spend most of their life on the pavement. Jeep seems light years away from coming up with a product that is software defined and you can control the whole user experience. I just think Scout's going to have this market completely to themselves. All of the capability that they're going to be able to incorporate in this, like there's so many different modes and things they can do with the graphics and the interface. I mean, I'll just fly through some of those. But Cody, what's your thought on that, man? Like you've had the Cybertruck, you own it. and that experience is just a whole nother world.
It's hard to leave it. Like going to your Chevy Silverado for a week was I was clunky. I know it comes with a little bit of like the muscle memory of, hey, you spend a couple weeks with a vehicle, you get used to whatever it is. But I just can't help but notice the difference of like how Tesla built it from the ground up. Like you said, software focus, like it's so intuitive. And if Scout's applying any type of effort there, but then also that warm, like they keep talking about this human connection with the machine. And I definitely think that Tesla took like a very Tron futuristic approach to that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's going to be I think it'll be easier for people that are non-EV focused to connect with a Scout as to versus any other vehicle they're dealing with, a Tesla otherwise. So I'm excited to see that come.
Yeah, Casey, you've spent some time in the Rivians, and you're one of the few people in the world who's actually sat in a Scout concept vehicle and seen the UI. You know, what's your opinion on where Scout, has the potential to move ahead of even what a Rivian or a Tesla is doing? What did you see that really impressed you?
Oh, from a tech standpoint, I don't know. I don't get too into the weeds with that stuff. I think what impressed me about the Scout was what Cody's mentioned a couple of times, like the warmth of it. They've really were able to integrate that into the screens and the overall aesthetic of the interface and everything. So that vehicle, like you get in it and it's got all it's like a retro, right? But we've seen retro vehicles before really fail to like carry that retro feel through the inside of the vehicle. Like it you could tell like, oh, I see where they're getting inspired by this kind of older look, but like there's no warmth as Cody described it to the interior. Whereas when you get in the Scout, you feel that immediately. Like you feel like, yeah, it's 2025, but like the aesthetic and like just how the interior makes you feel is a very throwback. And they've somehow managed to make the screens kind of serve that intention, right? Even down to silly kind of things about how the speedometer has the kind of old school sideways kind of move to it. Um, but what I really love is how like the color schemes on all their infotainment screens can blend into the interior design in a way that like a Cybertruck can't. Like when I've been in Cody's vehicle, like that big center screen, it can be very busy. And if you've got a bunch of stuff going on it, like satellite radio or whatever, like there could be weird graphics pop up. And then there's that stupid camera in the top corner instead of being up in the rearview mirror like a normal person would want it. Like and so it's just you're driving along, it's there in your eye line, like being distracting and everything. And so you really notice the screen and all the stuff that's going on with it. Whereas with the Scout, you can, I guess, have all that stuff going on the screen, but like your normal base functions don't have to look that way. They can feel very natural and like blend across the dash in a really cool and warm way.
Yeah, and I've seen some online commentary on the video that we did where we walked through the UI with Dre, the head of design there for UX, and somebody's like, "Oh, this is really gimmicky," or "It's silly. I don't care about this." Blah blah blah. Okay, that's fine. There's certainly plenty of people out there who don't care about it, and they're really focused on functionality more than anything. Um, but man, there's a massive market that does. Cars are still about how they make us feel. I mean, they really are. People have an emotional connection to their vehicles. That's why these car companies spend billions of dollars on design and design studios and get the best people they can. It's just important, right? It's a huge purchase, and um, people want to walk up to that vehicle and feel something, you know, special, right? And um, boy, you said a lot of things about Cybertruck. Folks, trust me, Cody and I are about to do this episode. You are going to want to see that. So, again, make sure you're subscribed and you got your notifications
Please.
because we have some hot sports opinions about each other's trucks. All right. Let's just put it that way.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Can I be there when we film it? I just want to,
Yeah.
You just want to watch that
Let's
show
do it.
unfold.
I just want to watch. I might have to get between the two of you. I don't know.
You might, because I have some words to say about that
Yeah.
Silverado.
Yeah.
But back to the technology
Joggers
point,
versus jorts.
yeah, I feel like every existing like traditional automaker tries to force the technology in their current form design, especially on the interior, and it drives me nuts. I'm like, where's the art? And Tesla just did the opposite, was like, we're going to put nothing in it. It's like very future minimal. And then here's this massive screen. And I think the Scout's done just a delicious job of like, you get both. You're still in this cab. You're still in a wagon, which is what these transportation vehicles are meant to be. But here's how the technology integrates, and it's not in your way. I mean, at least from what we saw, getting to sit in them for the brief time we did. And so I can't wait to see them on the road and how they work.
Awesome. Yeah. Just so you guys know, the concept vehicles that were reworked and shown off in New York, Munich, Fort Worth. How about that, man? Right here in our backyard. They are going to show back up in LA next week at the LA Auto Show. And excited to see people on the West Coast get to react to that and, provide their feedback. We don't anticipate any new big info drop or anything like that out of LA. The development seems to be ongoing. Um, there are some hints in some of these images that maybe Scout is going to over deliver on the range side of things, even with the Harvester. Kind of look at some of the numbers on the displays and back into some range figures and things like that. It's pure speculation on our part. But we don't have anything else to do other than speculate right now. But we do know something about the Harvester engine, don't we, Casey? We've got a little info on that. We've covered it before.
We did. It was quite a long time ago. I think, the internet is settled on it's for sure going to be a 4-cylinder, Volkswagen engine already being produced in this hemisphere.
Yeah, naturally aspirated.
Probably naturally aspirated, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's about all we know. Okay. and
all I need.
But that's an interesting point because you said a Volkswagen engine, and a lot of people have just said, well, oh, okay, so this is just a reskinned Volkswagen. I think you made the case right up front that that's not what this is. But is it worth explaining to people what that relationship looks like?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've tried to explain that several times. People just don't, I don't know. People are so dug in on the internet, but like, they will still insist that it's just a Volkswagen in a different skin or just a Rivian. It's exactly like a Rivian, even though there's substantial mechanical differences in the suspension and all this other stuff, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, I think it's kind of a reasonable fear, just because of the relationship that does exist, but so it's probably worth, recapping.
Yeah. And so, look, Scout is an American company. Their number one investor is Volkswagen, in particular Volkswagen Europe, right? The big corporate conglomerate. And they have lent quite a bit of expertise to this project. We've met several folks that were part of the Volkswagen company that have come over. They were at CES last year. There's no doubt that there's a lot of influence there, but the right kind of influence. This is an American design with American capabilities for the American market. The vehicle was on stage in Munich a couple of weeks ago, but never in that keynote speech did Scott talk about that vehicle being in Europe. He absolutely was adamant that it's an American product and spent a lot of time explaining to the audience of why, because to a European audience, that vehicle doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. It's big, it's burly, it's off-road focused. It's not going to go in the places that it needs to go in Germany and France and Italy and all these countries, right? It's not going to fit in those streets. But here, it go anywhere. And so, look, American product through and through. But with the added benefit of being able to lean on some really impressive resources, German engineering and German manufacturing techniques. And Scout does have access to the parts catalog and the
Yeah.
procurement buying power that comes from their
Yes.
relationship with Volkswagen. It's an interesting one with Rivian, isn't it? Really interesting, like the tie-in there from an EV stand.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knows just how deep those ties are.
Yeah,
Well,
I
somebody
mean, what
knows, but
what
I
we're
don't
what
think
we're looking at
this.
is the zonal architecture, right? And the Rivian
Uh,
has done such a good job building, and I fully expect the zonal architecture and the software, the back end software, to be a Rivian sourced technology, but fully integrated into the body on frame chassis, the independent front, the solid rear, all of those things. Yeah.
yeah, I
So
think from like a software perspective, in actual EV perspective, I think it will be probably closer to a Rivian than like an ID4 or something like that. I think you use the word benefit, and I think people really need to understand. I think it is going to be a huge benefit to have access to just things like window regulators and switchgear and wiring harnesses and just all that stuff that's like behind the scenes that is actually really difficult to build from the ground up if you're a brand new company, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and just price alone. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah. The
makes it
buying power, yeah,
it's crazy. I mean,
and the
where they're gonna
relationships with
yeah,
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 yeah. I mean,
it'll be good.
Ford just spent the last several years and billions of dollars trying to build their own zonal architecture, and they failed. They abandoned it. We don't know what they're doing with this new product or this family of products that is promising ultra low cost from a build standpoint and speed to market. We don't know what they're doing yet. They haven't said, but we know they jumped ship on their own effort, right? Because it's hard.
Expensive. Yeah.
Back to the conversation we were having earlier, Blandy. Like it's really important because you can get the experience right, and you can update the vehicle. That's one thing that drives me nuts with the Chevy is it will not update unless you take that stinking thing back to the dealer. And I don't want to go back to the dealer. I don't want to schedule it and give them my car and it goes to 6 different people to update 6 different modules in the shop and it takes a week. No. Nope, nope, nope.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I wanted to do it in my
And I didn't
driveway.
even have to deal with that when I drove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Downloaded overnight.
And it's a rare thing. It's a rare thing, but still, I want the latest and greatest cool stuff, and there is new stuff, but I'm just not willing to give my truck up for a week.
It doesn't have to be in every once in a while. Like that's what I love about the Teslas. It's like you got an update, great, push it. Let's go. You know? Like you can make little soft adjustments if you need. But
Yeah.
we'll see what Scout does.
We'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Any parting
Yeah.
words of wisdom, gentlemen, for folks out there who are considering one of these products? Like, if they're thinking about putting $100 down and reserving one, anything you think we should add or tell folks today about that product?
Just ask yourself, like, do you really enjoy the time in your car? Because we all spend an ungodly amount of time in them. And that's what tilted
yeah.
me over to the Cybertruck. And it's what, it completely turns me on about the Scout, just for both models. Like, bring them both because you're in them a lot. You might as well enjoy them. And then you get the benefit of just a great approach and a solid price point. Like, I don't know what there's to lose on that gamble.
Yeah. I would say a couple of things. One, like you said, hardly anybody's actually seen these vehicles in person, right? And so I would just say, if you've seen them and you think they look compelling and you're just like, I wonder if it's a concept. Is it really that? No, you will not be disappointed in the vehicle, inside or out, once you actually see it. I mean, throw your money down now, get in line. But actually, I think one thing I've seen a lot, and just in the last week, that's driving me crazy is if you go, you see any Facebook group or forum or whatever, kind of like, oh, or the Scouts own Facebook page, right? They post a picture. One of the first comments is always, "Oh, it's cool, but give me a real engine. Give me a real engine." And I I get it, but I think that that's just a horrible way to go for a brand new company in 2025, right? Like the difficulty of it and all that, whatever. But also, I've been meaning to do like a Monday morning commute video lately about my experience in our Blazer or whatever. And I'm just here to tell you guys, EVs are better. They're
You won't
better.
miss an ice.
You won't.
You won't.
And,
You
and,
just
and,
won't.
and look, I understand the range problem of an EV. That's a huge problem to solve. I'm just telling you, if you think there's a way to mitigate that for you, there's just nothing that a gas vehicle does better than an EV these days, other than be able to throw 500 miles of range in it in 3 minutes at a gas pump, right? And that's a huge thing. I'm not discounting it. I'm just saying everything else about the vehicle's better in an EV. Everything.
Yeah.
So, stop it.
To add on real quick, Brian, before you go, but to counter the comments like Casey's doing, the other comment you see is either we want a real engine or it looks like a slate. And I promise you, it is not a slate. Like that is just an insult. And it's not even near the form factor or size. So yeah, the arguments are light.
No, these are big, burly, very capable vehicles. And I loved hearing Casey tell you unequivocally EVs are better, because I got him to this point in his life.
I'm the last one on the chat to have an EV.
Yeah, kicking and screaming. We'd had a bunch.
No.
Yeah, kicking and screaming. And I just loved hearing
What are you
that,
talking
now
about?
that he's had one for a while, that they love it and it's their car of choice, right? And we did the same thing. We went through the same process here. We had a few, and then my wife went back to an ICE vehicle, and that didn't last very long. It just didn't. She's like, God,
Hard to go back.
No.
It's hard.
It's not going to fly over here. And my wife thinks it will, but it won't. I can already, she waffles. But also, I'm being besmirched, and I don't like it. You go back and watch our review of the Chevy Bolt. I've said many times, I've expressed my love for that vehicle on many an occasion on this channel. You're being ridiculous. It did take a while to find an EV at a price point and everything, and the timing of that just fit in our family, but stop with your theatrics.
Okay. Well, you just made a really good point. These are going to be expensive vehicles, man. They're not going to be cheap. And, the real solution, we've been talking about, oh, well, I'm going to go with this or I'm going to go with that. The real solution is to get both. The real solution is my wife's got the SUV and I've got the truck. And I look at the defeat on your faces, because you guys know that is the solution. The problem is, so it's going to be so much
they can help
money.
us do that. Sub to the channel.
That's
we can get there together.
Yeah. The channel, guys, we're going to make it
do
happen.
It alone.
We're going to live. We're going to live out your fantasies in these vehicles, and we will make content.
We'll take you out. Let's go.
Promise.
We just need every single one of you watching to subscribe and get 10,000 of your friends to subscribe as well, and we'll be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scout camping session as soon as we all get the scouts.
You can come with
10,000
subscribers. Come with.
Yep. They could
if
join
you hit 10,000 referrals, okay, anybody out there that can get us 10,000 signups, we will definitely bring the Scout out and make an entire video series with you. All right, I promise you
we'll
that.
Girl
right
for
now.
you.
Somebody's out
we'll
doing
do it all.
some bot farming for some subs starting now.
We'll find them in the Philippines. We'll do
it. We will. Well, I hope you guys just enjoyed this. Like we said, there hasn't been a lot of news, but we're just sitting around with these reservations and waiting for the next tidbit to drop. the next set of specs, or the next paint color, or the next concept to show up with some new. God, man, if one just will show up with a winch on that steel bumper, I'll probably do an entire
That's right.
10-minute episode on it, just talking about the winch. So we're excited. Hope you guys are excited. First group podcast. Hope everybody enjoyed that. And with that, Casey's going to awkward wave, and I don't know what Blandy's going to do, but we're out.